Welcome to episode 2 of the live concert experience locally. Today I'm joined by Mia and our new guest, Millie.
Hi.
Say hi, Millie.
Hi guys, it's me, Millie.
Could you introduce yourself for us?
My name is Millie. I like concerts. I like concerts a lot.
And today I invited Millie because she's my friend through concerts, and I want you to tell the story of how we met.
Okay, the story of how we met is quite funny. So, I was at a concert in 2019 from a band. I was at a concert in 2019 for a band called I Don't Know How, But They Found Me. At this concert, I was airdropped a notes app of someone's Instagram, and I followed their Instagram, and it was like me and Skyva's mutual friend who lived 15 minutes away from me at that time, and I didn't know that. So we met far away, but local people, you know.
Yeah, the reason why I want to talk about that is because when I was at a show, we actually were all at that show recently, a week ago, to do research for me. We met a girl called Chantel, and she was talking about how people airdrop to each other all the time and how people play games in the crowd and so on. And this whole installment of this podcast episode is about community and the community teenagers build through concerts. So I think it's so interesting to have had a friend that I've made through shows, and the fact that she's here right now till this day,
right? It's crazy.
So yeah, it really does happen. You really do meet real genuine people at shows that actually stick with you. And as of late, I heard a lot of people talking about I want more friends, especially people around our age. I want more friends, but there's nowhere to go, nobody to meet, nobody wants friends, basically. I heard a lot of quite hopeless talk going around, especially on TikTok and so on. But it's just not true. Real life experiences here. It is possible to meet people through shows. It is possible to meet people anywhere. People are open to people everywhere, and especially at concerts, because every show me and Millie have went to together, I feel like there's always people talking to us. There's always somebody to interact, somebody new, someone we'd never met before. Sometimes it's actually crazy. For example, we met a TikTok star.
We met a celebrity and her sister.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was crazy.
It was crazy. It was so interesting. They look so similar. I was getting confused who was who, but no, they were really sweet, and things like that happen. And I want to ask Mia, what about you? Have you met friends through concerts?
Yeah, I have. On the airdropping thing, I've had that as well. I've had people airdrop Instagram, Snapchat to me, whatever. I've also found that on Twitter, a lot of the time there will be group chats for people who are going to the same concert in the same area for them to meet and go together. Which can honestly be a little bit unsafe.
I met a full friend group that way, and it was questionable, but it was nice. It was the only example I've seen of someone people coming together community like that for a concert. To be honest, people can find a lot of mutual ground over artists that they never would have found before.
Mm-hmm. It really is cool. It is fully you have a similar interest to another person, so thus you're friends. It's sort of as easy as it is back in primary school. You like one thing, another person likes the same thing, bam, you're friends. I feel like at shows it does feel like that, and many people also just very actively share their socials, very actively just are looking for friends. So I think it's beautiful how much of a community we can build here in Scotland locally through gigs, because there's big communities of alternative people in Edinburgh and locally that go to these concerts in packs, sort of. And I see reoccurring faces concert to concert. So you really can find a community of people that are very similar to you, or people that just have very similar interests to you. I also wanted to talk about outside of concerts, where else would you go to make a friend or to build community?
It's a hard one.
I don't know, you go first.
I guess college is the first most obvious option.
I guess it's like kind of similar because it's still like it's like one thing.
I mean, at like concerts, it's like you and the other people who are attending, you have this shared interest of the artist, where it's like the way you choose to express yourself, like when you have that in common with someone else, it's like it's easy to form a friendship. Whereas when you're at college or something, it's like you could just be there to like further a career, further like your skills. It's not necessarily something you're passionate about, though in other times it can be. So there is potential, though. It really depends.
Yeah, I feel like because there's nowhere, like school is very much like, or college or anywhere, is very much like you're there to study, thus you make friends to keep you company. But I feel like it's not very much like a hobby place. I feel like I feel like if I were to go try and make friends, I would probably have to pick up a new hobby, which means paying for something. And of course, you need to pay for shows. But I feel like paying for an experience once is overall cheaper than paying for, let's say, after-school club classes. Like, I've been thinking about horse riding recently because I'm really obsessed with Red Dead Redemption.
We fucking love Red Dead.
Cowgirl summer.
But outside of that, like I would go to a country concert, but the people there might not be the people I'm looking for, which is another question. Like, how would you deem a show, a concert you want to go to with a community that you want to go to? Millie, do you have any thoughts on that?
Internet and like Instagram and TikTok, like you can kind of tell through like you can tell the visuals of the people before you go sometimes, just based on like what they post, like the type of music, the bands, like the internet culture really shows it before you go, I'd say. Otherwise it's kind of difficult. I guess otherwise it would just have to be through like band posters and stuff. I guess that's how they did it in the past. But like, yeah.
I think it can be kind of unpredictable because I remember going to a Machine Girl concert and I was expecting it to be all people my age, but in the queue it was kind of all like old tall men, and that really surprised me though. I was not expecting to see that.
That is true. I feel like sometimes you do get surprised by a crowd. Like you go somewhere and you're expecting it to be like old metal dudes and it's all teenage girls, or vice versa. Like last time I went to Sleeping with Sirens in the Liquid Rooms, like I was expecting the crowd to be so old, but genuinely the oldest person I met there was like this mother that's like, oh yeah, my 17-year-old daughter got me tickets for here and I love them now, so I'm here by myself. So that's like literally the oldest person I met there, and everybody else was around my age. So I was quite surprised by that, but I was 14 at the time, so maybe my perception of shows was a bit different because I genuinely thought Sleeping with Sirens was the heaviest thing in the world. It's not. But
foghorn sound effect.
But other than that, I feel like a lot of shows that young Edinburgh girls go to in general are probably, most of them are honestly not in Edinburgh. I'm not gonna lie. Most of them are not in Edinburgh. Most of them are in Glasgow. The big performances are usually in Glasgow, like Barrowlands or the Ovo Hydro and so on. Like, for example, Olivia Rodrigo is coming down. I wouldn't say she represents every Edinburgh girl, but she's a huge show that's going on. I'm sure many Edinburgh girls will be going there. And then, for example, we went to Mitski at the Barrowlands, and in that show, it was very much younger people all over the place. On a concert day, the trains are packed, always packed with people traveling from everywhere around the place. Even to like smaller Edinburgh shows. Like I've met people at Edinburgh shows that have traveled far and far and far to see these small artists actually, and it's quite surprising to me because I feel like I would never make the venture for an artist.
I remember one time, I think it was Beyonce playing in Murrayfield, and I was trying to get home that night. Like the bus was so full, it didn't even stop to like pick me up. It just drove straight past me. So
no way.
Not the Beehive bus.
No, the Beehive bus.
Because they're only allowed to do that when it's so full, I think. Oh my god. Oh, I remember. I was like, but also I'm not gonna like when big shows like that go on. Like Beyonce was here, Harry Styles was here. I'm assuming once Taylor Swift plays, Millie's going to Taylor. So
I'm having nightmares about getting home.
Yeah, nightmares about getting home. The whole city is swamped with people. A huge mess is being made. Like, for example, when the feather boas from Harry Styles...
That was ridiculous.
That was so bad. Like, the planet is already a little bit like, you know, we're eco-conscious now because
Like, those little microplastics, they were on the floor for weeks, months.
and they're still here. Like, they've not went anywhere. We just don't see
Yeah.
them. Like, they don't go like they don't disintegrate. So I think it is. It's kind of sad when big shows like that happen and there's a big trend to do something like the feather boas and people just don't think about the economic factors. But then you never really know what the trend is gonna be because I was not expecting feather boas all over the floor after Harry Styles. And many big concerts do have that. So I wonder like if Taylor Swift is gonna make a huge mess when she comes around. Probably.
I bet
Probably.
there will be like an
Hope not.
additional bus or train service called like the Taylor Swift service. 'Cause there's
I
gonna be
can't
so many
wait.
people trying to get home.
No, it's actually going to be a night.
I do think they should do some sort of mini buses. Like the nightclub I used to work at used to run a mini bus service every single day of the week for people to get home. And I think something like that for concerts should be put in place just because you get stranded. Like genuinely, like this one time I was stranded up until 3 a.m. trying to get a taxi and there was no one picking me up and I was in a place where there's no postcode. You know
Oh my
what I
God.
mean?
No postcode?
No postcode. Well, I told them the postcode, and they were like, "No, that's not a real postcode." I was like, "The tennis court," and they were like, "There's no tennis court." I was like, "I'm literally at the tennis court." But yeah, other than that, Millie, do you have any other examples of community you built through concerts or anything like that in Yumi as well?
This is actually the craziest thing. When I was 13, I loved 21 Pilots so much. I was in a group chat for like people that were going to the concert and we kept talking after the concert, and so me and my old best friend, we decided we're gonna start like doing like meetups in public for the fans.
That's
And so
dangerous.
no, literally no, like concerts I think that way, like when you're younger you don't realise like these like it is actually unsafe, but we were like, yeah, everyone that went to this concert, everyone who likes 21 Pilots, come to St Enoch Centre in Glasgow and we'll sit on the floor in a big circle and sing 21 Pilots.
That is crazy. I never knew of that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that you staged a meet and greet.
Multiple meeting